You're listening to KEXP. You can find us at 90.3 FM in Seattle and streaming worldwide at kexp.org. Thanks for joining us here on listener-powered radio. And it is so hard to concentrate right now because there is so much going on with every single one of my senses right now. Lido Pimienta is here in the KEXP studios, and as she said as she just walked in, always bring it to the runway. You look amazing.
I mean, I was just at the supermarket, and then they told me I had to be here.
So you just ran over?
Totally. Just got some cereal, came to KEXP.
Did you bring us some snacks?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And flowers.
It looks so gorgeous, and Brandon looks gorgeous as well. Great, thanks so much. Brandon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Oh, Miss Colombia. Absolutely beautiful. I'm still reeling from the session you did with us live at Iceland Airwaves back in 2017.
I still feel all the vibrations from that day. And all the Icelandic men asking me, how can I get a Colombian wife? It was interesting.
I bet. Well, you have an amazing effect on people, and I'm so honored that you're here to perform with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. And let's hope when I release my next record that I don't have to wait 2 years to show it off.
Let's hope. Well, we're ready to hear some music, and then we can chat. It's Lido Pimienta live on KEXP.
Y aún yo fui, ya no adoraba. Y fuiste tú quien no dormía. Cáete y levántate enseguida. Y no me pidas que te llame. Rescataré más nunca por última vez. Te amo, mejor ponte muy bien las pilas. I am coming through. Le salvaste allá la vida y te entregaban los cristales para ver si tú ahora ya das vida. No me pidas que te ame. No te rescataré más nunca. Por última vez te amo, mejor La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yo por fin todo lo tenía y a ti todo te lo entregaba. Tú por fin me necesitabas y después no me tuviste en cuenta. Tú por mí nunca trabajabas. Me acerqué para ser la primera. Si tú a mí nunca me querías, yo porque tengo que darte pelas. Y yo también miraba y yo adivinaba todo pues bien. También me iba bien, todo lo imaginé. Y yo aquí sembré las semillas y sembré en la que tú plantabas. Tú sin mí, tú nunca te hallabas, pero hoy me encuentro relajada. Lo que tú quisiste lo robaste, llegaste, pero de sorpresa déjame. Tú nunca me quisiste, aléjate, me das pena ajena. Lo que tú quisiste lo robaste, me daste, pero de sorpresa déjame. Tú nunca me quisiste, aléjate, me das pena ajena. Y yo también miraba y yo adivinaba todo pues bien. También me iba bien, todo lo imaginé. Yo también miraba y yo adivinaba todo pues bien. También me iba bien, todo lo imaginé. Yo te quería también, como instrumento de lo que yo podía ser. Te adoraba también. Es el momento de lo que no podía entender. Yo te miraba también. Yo te miraba también. Yo te miraba también. Yo te boté, 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 yo te boté y te miraba. Y yo también miraba y yo adivinaba, todo lo sé, también lo pude ver. Yo te quería también, como instrumento de lo que no podía ser. Te adoraba también, desde el momento de lo que no podía. Yo te quería también, como instrumento de lo que no podía ser. Te adoraba también, desde el momento de lo que no podía entender. Y yo te miraba también, 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 yo te miraba también. Y yo te boté, 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 y te adoraba también. Okay, another one.
Sí.
Gracias. To all of my sisters, comadres, hermanas de Centro a Sudamérica. Todo lo que yo sentí, todo lo que yo viví, por todo lo que sufrí, por todo lo que yo aprendí, de todo lo que yo te di, ya no. Soy sincero, si es que mañana muero, no le tengo miedo, pues soy mujer y llevo el dolor adentro. Soy mujer de lluvia, de sangre y en luna, de tierra, sal y luna, con amor, sin duda. Si es que mañana muero, de aquí yo no me muevo, yo no le tengo miedo, no le tengo miedo, no. Todo lo que yo sentí, todo lo que yo viví, todo lo que yo te di, ya no me queda nada. El dolor que yo sufrí por todo lo que yo te di, de todo lo que yo viví, ya no me queda nada. 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 Yo te soy sincero, y no le tengo miedo a la muerte. Si es que me quiere, aquí la espero de frente, sonriente. El dolor lo llevo dentro, el dolor lo tengo presente. Soy mujer de sangre, luna, de tierra, sal y luna, sin pena, sin duda. Si es que mañana muero, de aquí yo no me muevo y no le tengo miedo. El dolor lo llevo dentro, el dolor lo llevo dentro. De todo lo que yo te dé, de todo lo que ya paré, de todo lo que yo viví y parí a tus hijos, de todo lo que yo miré, de todo lo que ya paré, de todo lo que ya entendí y te di ya no, no, no. Por todo lo que yo te di, por todo lo que ya parí, por todo lo que ya te crié a tus hijos, ya no me queda nada. Por todo el miedo que algún día tuve de salir a la calle, por todo lo que es ser mujer, ya no me queda nada, ya no me queda nada, ya no me queda nada. Y el dolor lo tengo presente, el dolor, el dolor, el dolor, lo tengo presente.
Lido Pimienta is live here in the KEXP studios, songs from the album Miss Colombia.
Thank you so much. We have one more, and we hope you like it. me falles me duele. No exagero cuando te digo, pero no me ignores, me duele. No exagero cuando, no exagero cuando, eso que tú haces, eso que tú haces, eso que tú haces, no es amor, no es amor. Ay, ay, cómo me duele, ay, cómo me duele mi pueblo. Hoy comprendí, sentada en tu arena, que fue por ti que dejé de ser yo. Y no tienes la culpa por ser así. Y no me entregues nada si no quieres. Pero no me falles, me duele. No exagero cuando te digo, pero no me falles, me hiere. No exagero cuando, no exagero cuando. Y eso que tú haces, y eso que tú haces, y eso que tú haces, no es amor, no es amor. Hoy no me duele mi pueblo cuando veo esa sangre derramada. Esa es una sangre inocente derramada en el territorio que no es amor. Haces eso que tú
That is extraordinary. Lido Pimienta live on KEXP. Thank you so very much. So beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I have had Miss Colombia on constant repeat since it came out in 2020. I just play the album over and over, and when I get to Eso Tu Que Haces, I hit repeat, and sometimes I play that song like 10 times in a row. So if I ever was in a lip sync competition, I could totally do that song. And I'd say karaoke, but I couldn't even come close to your voice, which is so magnificent. And I know you know what a great singer you are. Do you have to do anything special to protect your voice or before a show?
I do my little vocal exercises that I think all the singers do. But I think the main thing that I do is that I mind my own business. And that really helps to keep a good voice. Yeah.
Great advice. Great advice. Well, the making of Miss Colombia was such a long journey. I think I heard that you started it like 7 years ago in Chile, maybe. The album was created over such a long period of time in different locations with so many talented collaborators and musicians. Can you tell me a little bit about the genesis and the journey of that album?
Yeah. It has a beautiful story because when in 2015, when Steve Harvey messed up the Miss Universe, that was like a huge moment for me as a Colombian that grew up watching, telenovelas and Miss Universe. And I was, I was like the tomboy. I was like the odd one out. I was like the kid that was like hanging in the mango trees and not really being feminine or whatever. But you still watch it. And then when Steve Harvey made that mistake, then it brought out all like the ugly that you don't want to see, because at the time I was living in Canada and I was like, oh, yeah, Colombia can suck too. It's not just North America. So then I wrote my songs, and then I went to Chile and I worked with Andres Nuser, who is from the wonderful band Astro. And he helped me engineer these demos that I had. And then I contacted an amazing producer based in Toronto called Matt Smith, also known as Prince Nifty. Shout out to Prince Nifty. And I was like, hey, I have these songs. Let's go to Chile together. And then with Nifty, we went to Colombia, and then we worked with Sexteto Tabalá and Voces de Palenque in San Basilio de Palenque, which is a town really close to Cartagena, which is also the first free town from slavery in all of the Americas. And then we went back to Canada, and in Toronto, we collaborated with amazing musicians. Toronto has an incredible music scene. We had Karen Ng in winds and Tara Kananhara in trumpet. We had what I call the Road to Avonlea Choir, which are these fantastic singers, Ivy, Isla Craig, Robin and Felicity Williams, and they're my beautiful choir. And then finally we had Ocan from Cuba and Raimundo Sosa in percussion as well. And the steel pan, it's a lot of people, and the steel pan was by Gregory Craig, who actually taught steel pan at my son's school. So I saw the great job that he did with the kids, and I was like, you should play my album. And that's basically how we did it. And we never anticipated that we weren't going to be able to set the music free live, But in a way, it feels fantastic to know that all of the story behind it and all of the people that participated, all of the communities that took part in my album that I'm so proud of, people were able to listen to it in quarantine. So just like you said at the beginning, a lot of people are like, oh, that was my jam. That was my pandemic anthem. And I'm like, good. It had to be mine too.
But it has some staying power, because I was just listening to it yesterday, and not just because you were coming today. It just really fits the mood, and it sounds like it really was a global endeavor.
Yeah, I'm not a conventional musician. Like I proudly say that I am a YouTube tutorial musician. And I'm Afro-Colombian, I'm indigenous, and I grew up in the northern coast of Colombia, which means that music is all around, and the oral history passed on in Afro-Colombian music, with like tambora, alegre, like these instruments, like I grew up around that, so that's where I get my sense of rhythm. And the melodies, I don't know where they come from. I just feel like I have voices that are helping me, and I'll be doing the dishes or folding the clothes with my kids, and then like a melody comes to me, and luckily there's YouTube tutorials. So I like put the music together, and then I reach out to wonderful people, and they happen to be all around the world. Like my dream is to go to Senegal one day. That's like my dream, and it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. So it's just about flowing, and it's about really being true to what's in your heart, because I'm not really good at music industry. I don't really pay attention to what happens in the music industry. So if anybody hears my music and enjoys it, it's great.
Well, it sounds like, and I know this of you, you're very resourceful, and you take advantage of what is there for you, and you're an incredibly hard worker. And I know that you're pretty much working all the time. Is that just how your mind works? You just can't not be working?
Lately, I've been reading a lot about ADHD, so I might be undiagnosed, because I am always constantly creating. I also feel like I started singing professionally since I was like 10 or 11 years old. And in the bands that I was in Barranquilla and the Afro-Colombian groups and all of that stuff, like I was always the youngest one. So I think that the people around me were, older and afraid of my mom. So they were really, on it. Like, we're going to make sure that she doesn't drink any alcohol, and we're going to make sure that she's not near any drugs and all of that stuff. And to this day, I couldn't tell you what even some pop tastes like. I'm pretty healthy in that way. So I feel like because I am very sober in my head, there's always room for creativity, and I also like to paint, and I like to write, and I'm always in my imagination, so I feel like it's a waste of time if I'm not creating, It's not like I do it all the time, like I have a lot of fun, and I can be lazy too, but there's something about knowing that you're running out of time, and I really want to leave an amazing legacy behind me, and I want my name to be synonymous with art, always. It's the most important thing for me, and I'm always learning too. So if I want to be a better producer, I have to work. If I want to be a better singer, I have to work. If I want to be a professional musician that plays in front of audiences, I have to put in the work. So I just try to really do it because I have my babies that I want to give everything to, and like for people like me that come from where I come from, to be able to be traveling around the world and selling out shows and stuff like that, it doesn't really happen. So I don't take it for granted. And I can't wait to keep making music and connecting with people everywhere.
Well, you grew up in Colombia and you've lived in Canada for a long time, and I'm tempted to ask you where you feel your home is, but I have heard you say that your home is your art and your creative process. Can you tell me more about that? It
is. It's so difficult when you think in terms of borders and territory. Sometimes I'm even hesitant to say the word Colombia because Colombia is a colonial name, right? And sometimes when you accept or when you give in and you describe yourself as like Latinoamericana, Latina, the word Latino or Latina, it's right away you think about white Latinos, and there's this conversation where indigenous and black people from Central and South America and all of the islands and territories, it's like we don't exist, So because of that, I feel like if I didn't have my art, it would be very hard to live where I live now, which is another place with another colonial name called Canada. So, you feel like you don't fit anywhere, and I fit in my music, and I fit in my art, and I fit with my wonderful friends that are also fantastic artists, amazing musicians. Like, these flowers are inspired in Liliana Saumet. Like she has taught me to be positive, because I can be in my brain so much, So it is a blessing, to have friends all over the place. And I have friends in Canada, and I have a home in Canada, and it has welcomed me so much. It has rejected me a lot, but for the most part, I have beautiful experiences there. I have my kids there, and my family is in Colombia. And I do everything for them. And my art keeps me afloat. Yeah.
I don't even know if I just watched a concert or a theatrical performance. I think you need to do a Broadway show. But your music has always been very visual to me. And from your incredible video to the true works of art that you wear to the photographs, tell me about how fashion plays into your artistry, and especially the cover of Miss Colombia.
Okay, so shout out to Cruda, Mexico, a woman designer from Costa Rica that's based in Mexico. Shout out to Nor Black Nor White, this beautiful shirt, and it's like an ombre. You can't see it. Can you see it? It's beautiful. And they're from India and Toronto. And then this is by Eliza Faulkner, another beautiful woman. She's based out of Montreal. And these are beads from Palenque. I always try to wear something indigenous to my territory. I feel like it keeps me very centered. Fashion is another way that I can express myself. Like, I don't own a pair of jeans or a white t-shirt for that matter, unless I painted on it. I think it's very important, I guess, because for so many years I was shut down, as a child, that, goes to, religious school, and you're creative, you get called into the office to, this happened to me actually at the school that I went to in Barranquilla. They would call me to the psychologist office every week. So how are you doing today? Good. Do you believe in Satan? So like they're telling you, stop being yourself, right? Stop being yourself, right? So once I became an adult and I started creating my own clothes and collaborating with friends that make clothes, and eureka, this is it, and I'm super campy, I love drag culture. So that's what that means to me. Like, it's just another way of expressing myself and another way to assert myself, because it's very important to assert oneself, especially when you're a woman of color, like they say. It's important to me to assert myself. And when I go into the room and I look fabulous, it's like, hello, I have arrived, hello. And I love that, and some people be like, oh, she's such a B-word. But I'm just like, no, she's confident. So sorry about it. So, and in terms of the cover for Miss Colombia, I work with my twin in art. Her name is Orly Anan, and she's also from Barranquilla. She's also based in Mexico City. And we're sisters in art. And I said to her, I want a cover that reminds you of a baptism. Is that how you say that? Baptism. But also like your first communion, but also like a christening, but also like you're getting married. So all the tropes of the woman and the good woman that's gonna go all the way that she gets married. And once she gets married, that's where her life stops, because that's the goal. You're gonna get married, So I was like, but I want it to be very gay. How can we do it? And Orly was like, se le tiene, which means that translates like, I got it. And then, she brought in the cakes, and she brought in like the girls from the town and the village. It's called Puerto Colombia, where we did it. And then we have the motorcycles are from the boys that give you rides, and their motorcycles are called mototaxi. And we were like, oh, do you mind taking off your shirt and putting this mask on? And they're like, oh, we're going to be models. Like, yeah, you're models. So it happened in an afternoon, outside of Barranquilla. And it was a blessing, And again, my friends are my collaborators, and they're my inspiration. So I try to surround myself with fantastic people that just have the vision and understand, because an image, it's there forever, and I don't want to waste that, and it's so beautiful to create images and create art, and I work with my cousins, and I every time I'm in Colombia, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? And they're like, oh, there's a new museum that they're starting in Barranquilla, and then they stole all the money for it, and now it's in shambles. We should take a photo there. Like, yeah, we'll do it next time. So we're always, in servitude of the art. And, like Brandon and I, we're always collaborating too. Like, he's in my bubble, I'm in his bubble, and we're always experimenting with sound. We're always like, so what's going to be the next thing that we're going to do? And then we don't have time to do it because we have 3 kids and a little one that doesn't let us sleep. So it's funny that this is our first show of the whole tour because we haven't rehearsed. It's muscle memory. But that's it. Creativity is everything. Art is sort of my religion, is my true religion. And I know that I'm going to be in my deathbed and I'm going to be drawing, and then I'm going to die. That's how I'm going to die.
Well, you are fabulous and so inspirational, and I can't hope to sing even a little bit like you, but I'm going to challenge myself that next time you come, I'm going to try to look a little bit as fabulous as you.
Just eat some cake.
I got that part down, but I was taking note of all those wonderful designers you were talking about, and I thank you both so much for coming in. I can't believe you're unrehearsed. That's insane. You sound amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's Lilo Pimienta live on KEXP, the album Miss Colombia. You must check it out. And thank you so much for supporting great programming like this here on KEXP. You can check us out at kexp.org. We're listener powered. That means powered by you. We appreciate you so very much. And check out all the wonderful videos on our YouTube channel and subscribe. You'll get notification every time a wonderful session like this launches. Thank you so much. It's Lilo Pimienta live on KEXP Seattle.
Discover great music at kexp.org.